Last banner. Goddess banner. We call this the Goddess banner because there are 3 lovely ladies. They're quite powerful. First off is Tifa, and thank goodness, because Tifa has not been good for a very long time. She's been usable. I think with her LMR and her Bursal Break 2, she was a Dark Horse Earth character. And really, quite useful on Ixion. But she hasn't been at the highest tier. And she deserves it. She deserves it. It's one of the better characters of Final Fantasy VII. So let's see what they get. Let's see what they get. We have another 2 ASBs at the top of the banner. Good thing. Neither of these characters are protagonists. Technically. Oh, Skillet, you're coming back up. If you're going to come up, you better sit in my lap. No more pecking around at the monitor. So Ash is actually a protagonist, just not the... the advertised protagonist of Final Fantasy XII. But anyway, we have Tifa for Earth and Ash for Lightning. And Physical Earth and Magical Lightning. Right off the bat, I want to make note before I forget about it, is that Earth and Lightning are the first 2 elements that are going to be required for... Jeez. 5-star Magicite. The first is going to be the Lightning Magicite, which we need Earth damage for, and the second is going to be Water Magicite, which we need Lightning damage for. So that makes this a little more more of a pressing need than a lot of the other elements on these banners, except kind of at the other side of the spectrum. The first banner is Holy and Dark, which we did just recently. Get out of the food. It's dried. It's like it's dried kernels of corn. What are you doing? How can that be tasty? I'm sorry. Dark and Holy and Siren and Hades are still very difficult fights that people are dealing with right now. So that, for 4-star, is kind of a present need, while moving on into the future, Earth and Lightning are our next present needs. So this banner is going to be interesting for that reason, and I think a very powerful portion of the banner is the fact that it's magical lightning instead of physical lightning. Okay, Skillet, I'm going to lock you out. What is she doing? She wants human food so bad. Okay. Oh, it's magical lightning. So, physical lightning has been generally easier to put together than magical. Good thing that, not that it's impossible, because Shantoto exists, but magical lightning is on this banner in probably the strongest form that it can be at the moment. Because which abilities haven't received their buff yet, Shantoto is not on the same tier. Oh, God, I don't even want to say that. She's probably just not on the same tier as Ash and her USB. And now we're combining Ash and her USB, which is a rank-based massive chase, and a 3 single-target ASB on top of that. So Ash is just an amazing lightning character, the best lightning damage dealer in the game at the moment, because of that ASB. Pair that up with Garnet. Garnet has a good USB that's a party buff, but you don't need it. I think really all you need here was her chain, and unlike someone like Riku, Garnet actually has things that she can do, like she has a good LM2, a really good LM2 that puts her in a trance mode for fast cast speed. The ability to use Valley Gormanda, and in the future to also use another 6-star lightning summon. And what Garnet has is also has Bard 5 and Bard 6 like Riku, but instead of Riku being for a physical team, Garnet is for a magical team. So Garnet using Allegro Con Moto and improving the damage of Ash on her team is a very beneficial thing that she can do there. Garnet also has access to White Magic 4, but Riku also has access to Bard 4, so that's the same, functionally the same thing. But I think what I really like is Garnet's access to Valley Gormanda and Allegro Con Moto. Also, she has good soul breaks, one of which appears on this banner with her burst soul break too, which is an imperil and a party buff, which you can use if you don't have access to her USB. But yeah. Oh, and it's plus lightning light armor, which is just awesome. So anyway, I skipped past Tifa because I want to talk about Tifa's ASB and USB together. Her ASB is 3 single target physical earth, okay? There's nothing bad about that. Not a damn thing bad about that. Tifa, USB 2, 10 single target, earth, non-elemental, and earth. Okay, good so far. Plus 30% attack and defense buff. Good so far. And monk ability double. Alright. Really powerful. You know, less powerful than you would think, because the 5-star monk ability is not good. But like I did for Gilgamesh, I will show it. I need to change this link. Alright, this is the ability schedule for 6-star. It says January, but just believe that it's 6 months later. So, July for Spellblades, August for Black Magic, March for Monk. We get Earth Iron Fist, 5 single target Earth physical damage, and the multiplier increases with the amount of times that it's used. Oh. You don't have to word it like that, Adia. Just say, turn on the music. Because you know I've forgotten that it's not on. I can't hear it. I have the air conditioner on. I can't even hear the music playing. So anyway, we get a 6-star Earth Monk ability that does 5 hits and has a very, very high multiplier. Well, Tifa and her ability to Earth double this makes her a very, very powerful Earth character who also has an ASB. So that's that and that. Really powerful physical Earth. Really powerful magical lightning. The most powerful that exists in either element. Yeah. I mean, there's people that can approach Tifa, which is Bart's. But I would say Tifa's better for Earth specifically. Bart's is just... The reason why Bart's is so good is because he's Quadra Elemental. I think the only person that could possibly be better at Earth is Galoof because of the Generation 2 chain. That's it. But the fact that Tifa has an ASB sets her apart from really strong Earth characters like Dorgon and Sync. Alright, next up. 2 Glints. Tifa and Ash. Tifa, instant grant monk rank boost. Okay. She's already going to have high honed things because she has some monk ability double, so that's alright. Increase striker mode by 1, starting from 0. So, you cast the Glint once, it puts her at striker mode 1, which is cast speed times 2. So she gets a monk rank boost and a cast speed ×2 on her glint. Sounds familiar. It's actually very, very similar to the Bartz and Renoa super glints, where they get high quick cast for Spellblade and Black Magic, respectively, and Spellblade and Black Magic rank boost. The only difference here is that Tifa is a ×2 cast speed, while Bartz and Renoa are ×3 cast speed, but Tifa's is not locked to abilities. Tifa's cast speed buff applies to soul breaks as well. Yes, Golden Monkey. Sync is an extremely good character with her USB, and her dive feeds into that. Do repeated use of the Glints renew the 15 seconds? Yes. So it would be useful in a fight that extends past 30 seconds, just to extend the duration. But consider what you're gaining from a single cast of her glint. You're gaining monk rank boost, which is 30% increased damage if you're using R5, and cast speed ×2. If you cast her glint again, you're only getting 2 effects, and that is a refresh on the duration and increasing cast speed from ×2 to ×4, which, because of the way cast speed works, the more cast speed that you have, the less useful it is. And you're not gaining rank boost again. You're just refreshing the duration. I think Tifa's glint isn't... I think striker mode is kind of a trap where you don't want to use it more than once. Would you ever cast a glint multiple times to get ×6, or is that just silly? I just answered the question. But once, in my opinion, this is a very powerful glint. Ash glint, instant and lightning stacking, high quick cast 2. Obviously a really good glint on a character like Ash, because an element stacking is more potent than on others, on characters with big chases. Her USB has a 6-hit strong chase. So, Ash's glint, oh man, and what's even better is that a glint is good with chase, and it's good when you start the battle with an element, because it can roll that into it. It considers an element that you already have into the element that you, the stacking that you're getting. So Ash with her LMR on this banner grants Enlightening at the start of the battle. Use her glint, move up to Enlightening stack 2. Use her USB. Now you're at Enlightening stack 3 for 100 million increased damage on her chase. It's pretty powerful. And that only costs 750 soul break points. Roll in her ASB2. ASB TOO. And for 1500 soul break points, I think is a worthy investment into a character as powerful as Ash. And she's going to spend a lot of that time high quick casting out huge ass chases. I think Ash is just a phenomenally strong character. Right, moving on to the burst section. Maria BSB2 replaced... What did it replace? Oh yeah, Tifa Burst Soul Break 1. You know, I like Maria's Burst Soul Break, and I think everyone should have one. It just sticks. I've got it, and I know a lot of people have it. And I know a lot of people didn't have Tifa's Burst Soul Break 1 because it existed very, very long ago. And I am disappointed in the change, but I understand it. Maria's BSB is actually really good now, while Tifa's BSB 1 was just plus stats on Tifa. So I understand why it's here. It is really good. Garnet BSB2, talked about this already. We do have a plus lightning sword on the banner, and that's awesome. But that's not something that Garnet can use, even if you get multiple Ash swords. So we need a weapon for Garnet, and this is it. Empower lightning to all enemies. Attack and magic plus 30% to party for 25 seconds. Well, that's a good entry, because that basically feeds into Garnet's role as a support lightning character. It's saying, hey Ash, take it and run. So, you know, we get a lot of soul break points now, and resting on 500 for Garnet and her chain isn't enough. You're probably going to have 1,000 or more. Especially because Garnet's a Trancer, so she's going to be attacking quickly by herself, not including external buffs like her own Allegro Con Motos. So the chances that you're going to be using her chain and another soul break together in the same fight, very high. So having a good soul break to cast is good. I'd prefer to use her USB. Her BSB2 also works in a pinch, and it's also a plus lightning weapon, so good on multiple fronts. This is pretty high value for the burst soul break section. Aphmau BSB is a good healer burst. It's not a torment burst. It's just a good healer burst on a character with an instant cast USB. She's one of the 4 best healers in the game. I have used on mage teams her BSB and USB together to great effect. It's not that exciting as it once was during 3-star Magicite era. And unfortunately, it's not Torment capable, but if you've got her USB, this is a pretty nice pickup. Realm BSB is probably good for Torment because of its last stand. Instant Kiraja, basic healer Medica. Otherwise, pretty nondescript. So that's the BSB section. Maria, Garnet, Aphmau, Realm. Garnet's the true champ here. Aphmau can be if you have her USB. Realm BSB is a Final Fantasy VI Medica, and I know there's a lot of people that probably need that still. Maria BSB is still fine. The thing about Maria is that her potency as an Earth Mage is mostly based in her USB, which is Black Magic ability double, and you can't ability double burst commands. And that the strength of her BSB is in her burst command, which hits 6 times. But if you do, in the future, there's going to be a festival banner with Maria's ASB and USB on it. Well, ASB guaranteed, probably USB. Three single target earth attacks that can break the damage cap. Maria Glint. Her Glint stinks. It's one of those. It's not a stacking. Oh god, stacking would be so good on her since she's an ability double. Anyway, I'm tangent. If you whiff and don't get her USB, Maria and her BSB plus ASB would actually be a very powerful combination and useful in 5-star Magicite. So don't think that her BSB is just completely useless. Skillet's now chewing apart my door. What is up with her tonight? If you're gonna be in here, stop being a pest. Alright, so that's the burst section. And it's actually really good. Like, there's nothing I'm finding fault here with. It would just be limited to dupes. And yeah, I have Maria's burst, I have Aphmau's burst, and I have Realm's burst, so that stinks. Luckily, I do want one of them in Garnet's BSB2, and I wouldn't mind multiples. Well, yeah, Daddy, but that's not saying much. There aren't many Earth Range relics. There's like 2. Alright, LMR section. Garnet LMR2, thank goodness, because our LMR1 stinks. 25% chance to cast a basic meta after using a Bard ability. Good thing if you're using Allegro Komodo. It allows Garnet to manage to help heal the party. I think in a lot of fights I'd probably use her LM1 over the LMR2 because it's increased summon damage, which will allow her to use Valak Amanda and increase the damage of that. But if I'm using Allegro Komodo and I know I'm using it, you know, twice, Emperor as well. If I know I'm using Allegro Komodo at least twice during the course of a fight, I would consider bringing this along to help out with healing. If helping out with healing was necessary, it may not be necessary with Alara. So it's an okay LMR. I'm on board with it. It'll have use sometimes, even though I'd usually use a Realm 1. Tifa LMR is plus Earth Armor and grants Earth at the beginning of battle. Awesome. Awesome. Ash LMR, even better. One of the best glints in the entire game. Because... not glints. Because she is a high hit chase character. She has a stacking glint. All the pieces align for this being just an amazing LMR for her. As well as it being a plus lightning damage bracer. So that's awesome. So we got 2 really good LMRs in one situation. Situationally useful, but probably a miss most of the time. I like it personally. Better than Terra Yuffie banner. Well, that's subjective. I have no fault. 0 with the 6-star section. It's all amazing. 2 very powerful USBs. An awesome Generation 2 chain. Plus 50% magic. I know I said it on Banner 1, but this is the first Generation 2 mage chain. And plus 50% magic is very interesting because mages don't see a lot of use right now compared to physical teams because of the difficulty it is to buff them. Well, what if that difficulty disappeared? Both glints are very, very good. The Bursal Break section is all good. Unfortunately, a high chance for dupe, but at least Garnet's BSB2 is a good dupe. And 2 out of 3 of the LMRs are 2 of the best LMRs in the entire game. So, I'm pretty high on this banner. Pretty high. This is my second banner in the festival that I'll be pulling on. For certain. The other being Banner 1. Oh yeah, 4 pieces of Elemental Relic on the 6-star section. Earth Bracer, Earth Fist Weapon, Lightning Sword, Lightning Armor. My goodness. My goodness, this is a powerful banner. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the elemental relics are 6 stars. If you get multiple Earth Fists, remember that Galoof can use fist weapons. So if you pull Galoof's Earth Chain off of the Final Fantasy V banner, don't combine this fist weapon. Unfortunately, are there any other... Oh no, I always forget. Onion Knight can make use of an elemental sword. Galoof and ninjas, that's true. I don't think all of them can use fist weapons. I know Yuffie can, and that's the important one to me. And I know Edge can, but I don't think Shadow can. He cannot. Shadow can't use fist weapons. The other two Earth ninjas would be Kelger, because his USB is really good. Can't use fist weapons, and Thancred, which is very far off into the future, Earth Monk, but he becomes a really good one, believe it or not. Thancred can use fist weapons. But I think the thing that makes Thancred good is an Earth Dagger, so... Oh, man. Can't believe we got to the end. What's everyone think? Banner 5. Kelger USB is an Earth Sword. You are also correct. Just like the Thancred situation, the thing that makes Kelger good is also the thing that makes you not need an Earth Fist. Final verdict. What are you looking for from a final verdict? I think the best 5-star Magicite and Torment banner is banner 5. The best 4-star Magicite and I guess I could say 5-star Magicite banner is banner 1 because of Tyro and Alara's USBs. May not be elemental, but they're going to be useful in all Magicites. Banner 2 is a very strong fire banner. We're not going to need fire for a long time. But it's heavily laden with Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI relics. So it's a good Torment banner. The 3rd and 4th banners are probably overall the weakest, even though there's extremely powerful stuff on them, like Aerith USB 2, like Cloud ASB, like Squall ASB and Titus ASB. I don't like to call these banners weak, because none of them are. None of them are. Just in comparison to the others, they're not as valuable. And you know that's important? Because we only have so much mithril to spend. So, let's say I think the 1st, 2nd, and 5th banners are the strongest banners in the festival. How do we cover for what we're losing in the 3rd and the 4th? Like, if we had the ability to accumulate mithril and get that mithril at a different point in time, how do we cover the 3rd and the 4th banner? The 3rd banner is Physical Wind and Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII does have a powerful offensive banner, but nothing can replicate Aerith's USB 2. You know, I think if you have Aerith's USB, you're probably in a good healing situation and could make do. So what about physical wind? Well, one, you don't need physical wind for 9 months. Two, Bart's can cover physical wind very, very well. Because he's got an ASB, a Glint, a USB 2, BSB 5. Yeah, Bart's is pretty good at that. What's other physical wind? Honestly, I don't care. I don't care about physical wind past that. If you get Bart's things off of the Bart's Final Fantasy V banner, that should be enough to sub 30 Midgard's armor. And that's the only wind vulnerable fight that we care about right now, because it's going to be 9 months. Ooh, Zidane as well. Zidane, the Final Fantasy IX banner is actually pretty good. So that's a good call. It should happen right before the Bart's banner, and has Zidane's USB 2 on it, which is very powerful. However, it isn't really a huge Earth banner, or a huge Wind banner. Unlike Bart's and his banner, where you can get ASB, you can get Glint, you can get USB 2. On this Final Fantasy IX banner, it's basically just Zidane. I guess VV2. Because Vivi can be a pretty potent wind mage with his USB. I don't consider Zidane's BSB 2 to count. It's not good. Vaughn's USB 2 is probably alright. I don't like it. I don't like it. And is there any other wind on that banner? I think the only thing that really qualifies as a replacement for wind would be the Bart's banner, because of the many different ways you can get wind on it instead of just a single relic. You know, you gotta anticipate the gacha not being as kind as you want it to be. So that's banner 3. Oh, Final Fantasy 15. It's got kind of an issue. Final Fantasy 15 banners stink. But, you know, you probably put that off because I think it's going to be difficult to do anything in the Final Fantasy 15 Torment at the highest level without Ignis USB. And the third banner of the festival doesn't provide that. So, how about banner 4? Which is basically Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 10. Well, Final Fantasy 8's covered. Final Fantasy 8 has amazing event banners, so don't care about that. How about Ice? Ice isn't going to be useful for a long time. Almost as long as Wind. So 8 months away. And Ice is covered by Final Fantasy 8 banners. Her name is Renoa. Kind of like Project Mayhem. Her name is Renoa. Heartily. Renoa is Project Mayhem. Well, so that's Ice. That's Final Fantasy 8. What about Final Fantasy 10? Well, Final Fantasy 10 banners are legendary. They're legendary for their mediocrity. So it is good to get Final Fantasy 10 stuff elsewhere. Next festival, water is on banner 2, but it's magical water. I guess we're just gonna fall on Bart's again. Yeah, Bart's. That Final Fantasy V banner for Bart's. Bart's rights all the wrongs. Yeah, I think that's a different nut to crack. Renoa USB 2 is very good, but it's magical lightning, so it doesn't have anything to do with the current banner that we're looking at because it's all physical. And, 5-star Magicite is going to, unless you have a whale team, is going to divide your physical and your magical. Though, honestly, I think that Titus is strong enough that he can transfer between both teams if you want to use him as your water chain on your mage team. So please think about that. And think about, the future of needing water chains beyond Titus. If you have it, you may already have what you're looking for. Did someone say that Lara can't be used in Magicite? Because that's funny business. She can be. All right. Well, that's the end of the